Nigeria's President Tinubu has officially signed the student loan bill into law. The bill's enactment comes after the repeal and reenactment of the Student Loan Act 2023, following a campaign promise by the president, and of course initial delays which led to a missed start date in January of this year. During a briefing signing ceremony at in Aso Rock, the president reiterated the vital role of quality education in poverty alleviation and reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring that every citizen has access to quality education and opportunities for skills development.
I've just signed a bill proclaiming the student loan effectively. First of all, I must thank the members of the National Assembly for their expeditious handling of this bill, considering the children of Nigeria, that education is the tool to fight against poverty effectively. We are determined to ensure education is given the proper attention necessary for the country, including skill development programs. This is to ensure that no one, no matter how poor their background is excluded from quality education and opportunity.
All right. Also, this quarter, Nigeria could possibly start issuing domestic foreign currency denominated bonds. Reuters was quoting the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, yesterday. Of course, this is on the back of that executive order he says President Tinubu has signed to entice investment not only from the diaspora, but also domiciliary holding Nigerians, which possibly Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu is one of them. Good morning, Chika. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm fine, thank you. So, what do you make of this possible development?
Two good stories to talk about today.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about the domestic issuance, so against the distant foreign bonds, dollar bonds, the story starts from somewhere or has been on somewhere.
Yeah.
Each time you hear rumor or the government wants to, seize, in quotes, people's dumb account balances, and not from this civil regime. I remember the Mefele time, and they would just bring out a press release and say, no, that cannot be, cannot do that. And then, again, I think once or twice during the Tinubu regime, it's happened. But also, the president and the Minister of Finance have mounted it. And just as you said in your rundown, that the incentive is to find ways of making people use the DOM account better. Now, see, how did the DOM accounts arise? In the best practices, you normally move your naira to foreign currency. You're allowed to by Nigerian law, and to earn some interest.
Yes.
But substantially, without any research, I believe that a lot of people who have done own DOM accounts have done it because of asset protection.
Yes.
Basically, because of the fact that the currency naira has been, dancing Akbala disco, and therefore people try to hedge and move a lot of their holding into the foreign currency, whether it's pounds or euro or dollars. I think it's more of that than actually looking for interest or returns on those currencies. So the motivation actually is not really to earn interest, but more of asset protection. But I don't have the research to back it up, but I'm told in some various literature we have read that it's about $30 billion, that much in the system, and almost competing with our national reserves. And so the government has been looking for ways of, without seizing it in quotes, enticing and encouraging you holders of DOM accounts, so that it be available for utilization, better utilization by the government of Nigeria instead of going to borrow euro bonds and so on and so forth. So what are the issues? Just like Treasury bills, Naira, again, what happened is that the dollars, of course, will leave the vaults of the banks and move to the vault of the government, central bank in this case. And then with the interest rates, dollar account interest rates in Nigeria now depending. Some people pay 0. I've done some research. Some people pay 1, maybe 2, maybe maximum 3, and 4 maximum. Now, if you recall, the 3 billion naira NMPC aphorism loan came in at about 12.3, 12.4%.
Yep.
You know, so if you use that as a rider, if your investment or chasing returns is your motivation, where they're paying you, let's say maximum of 3% in your dollar account in your bank now, and government says we're issuing dollar bonds at 12%, even 10%, you know, the return is higher.
Yes.
So there's incentive to move you from the bank and invest in that dollar bond. So that's the first issue.
Yeah.
Other things, a rational investor will do that.
Right.
So that is that. And hoping the government will do it that way.
Yeah.
And but the other thing that will happen also is this. The other issue, but it's not my headache. The headache is this, that a lot of these dollar account holdings with Nigerian banks, they have done swaps.
Against the balance.
With the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Yeah.
On these dollar holdings. And I'm just wondering what will happen when I give instruction now, or when you give instruction, use $100,000 of my DOM account.
Hey man, I wish I had $100,000
of my DOM account to invest for me in domestic dollar bonds.
Yeah.
Where what will happen? I guess it will be accounting entry and so on and so forth. You know, so that is okay. But I mean, is it commendable? Yes. But you see, let me just drop something.
Of course.
Let me just drop something. The way we normally do it in this place, you know, we just say balance the story.
Yes.
Remember, I started by saying that a lot of people who run the DOM account have done it not because of the returns they're going to make, but because of asset protection.
Right.
Now, there have been some riders, we're going to seize your DOM account, whatever. So a lot of the success of this program would depend on also the no trust deficit between the holders and the government.
Right.
Because it's like, you know, what I didn't get, I couldn't invite you into my house by saying, Rotis, come.
Yeah.
Then I'll just say, Rotis, come, let's watch television together.
Yeah.
You know, that may entice you. So people might just say, the government wanted to seize it, they couldn't seize it. Now they issue bonds. So when they issue the bond now at maturity, would they pay me back in Naira or whatever? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, of course.
So that's the thing. I'm just, we're not capable of, in this country, sometimes we don't do holistic thinking.
Yes.
You know, so if I were in that room planning this program, this is one of the things I will have in mind in planning my campaign.
Right.
That issue of trust. Because a lot of people will say, let me keep my money that way. This one, I don't know this. I don't understand this government. If I give them this money now, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, that's what it is. But it's commendable if it's transparent. Government keeps his promises, and like Treasury bill, there's no default.
Yeah.
At maturity, the bonds are paid back in dollars. As the case may
that's a good point.
May be.
Right.
Not converted to Naira.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So the planner should know that.
All right.
Now, we thought about education.
Yep. You train people, you train executives.
Exactly. With all humility, I'll put it this way.
Yeah.
Being a child of primary school teachers who trained, borrowed, begged, and everything to train me in the university. I mean, this is very commendable because I know how many times that I was out of school because they couldn't make up the school fees. And because of the fact that also that, teachers don't normally pay salary on time.
Yeah.
So this is commendable, this is salutary. And then we hope that, the Nigerian NEL Fund, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, you know what happens to Nigerian parastatals?
Yes.
It's interesting that most of the MDAs, the Ministry of Development Agencies, departmental agencies, whenever a CEO leaves, the next thing is EFCC. You know, you can check it. Whenever they leave, they are either removed by the government or anything. The next thing is EFCC. They would have done something, contract splitting, done something billion, and something, big amounts like that. So we just hope that the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, which is going to come out from this bill, will not be just one of those agencies. We also remember the things that happened at the scholarship board in those days. Sometimes you have to go and encourage them before they can release your scholarship or qualifying people. So just make sure so that the loan process is very transparent and then deserving. But the new bill has cleared a lot of hurdles. Remember, it was initially passed in June, but because of the issues in implementation, during implementation, they needed some issues that will limit implementation, which include the fact that one, it was initially didn't include state universities, but expanded to tertiary institutions in Nigeria and vocational institutions. And then the issues of guarantors were included, which has been removed. There was the issue of that a maximum of 500,000 naira family income before they can get into it. There was the issue of also that if your parents have been defaulting in loans, maybe in any system, that you will not be entitled to it. That has also been removed. So make it available. Let's focus on the students.
Right.
And then let people, as the president said, let anybody who's willing to go to school, should be able to go to school. As done in some other countries that we admire.
Chika, I was supposed to be going back. Please, I have to ask you this actually. We had Mr. Akintunde Sawyer, who is the executive secretary of the NEL Fund here, and I asked him about the moratorium. They said if you can't find a job or you don't have to pay back. Are you worried about non-performing loans?
Non-performing, of course. Those are things I would have talked about if I had more time. The issue, downside, which includes the non-performing loans. I think 2 years moratorium after you service.
Exactly.
But when you're unemployed, the level of unemployment in Nigeria, even though Nigerian Bureau of Statistics has done some gymnastics there to reduce it to 5%. But I mean, that's very high. Even those who are employed, the kind of salary they earn, and so on and so forth. But let's even start.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for breaking these matters down.